Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for July the 15th. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy. After that, we'll pull one card for each zodiac sign, and then we'll look at how those energies combine to see what we have showing up for energies for the day for each of us. So let's see what our overall is. By the way, if you know your sun sign, you can get a little bit of information from a video like this. If you know your house system, though, you can actually get quite a bit. So let's see. Overall energy. Oh, High Priestess. Yummy. This is really paying attention to intuition, to hunches, to gut instinct. So I really like seeing the High Priestess show up. This just means that we are tuning in really to our higher selves or to the divine, whichever way you prefer to look at that. Boom, ba da dum, boom. Everyone sort of has their own interpretation of that, and I'm not going to pretend to be the expert and try to get anybody to think one way or the other. But, all right, let's look at Aries. Boop-ba-da-doo. Seven of Cups coming up in reverse. Aries, this tells me that you've been thinking about things you could do to improve your life or your experience on this planet right now. With that Seven of Cups coming up in reverse, this means that you have settled on a priority and you're really focusing on it moving forward today. So it may be your intuition that helps you make your choice here about what should I focus on. There may be enough options there that this will help you to go with the right one. I shouldn't say the right one because I don't know that there's right and wrong exactly, but the best possibility. Helps you to focus on the best possibility. All right, let's look next at Taurus. By the way, this is I want to say Tarot of St. Petersburg I'm using, something like that. So Taurus, we have the Ace of Clubs. Maybe if I get that in front of my face, that'll focus better. Or maybe not. Let's try this. There we go. Better anyway. Ace of Clubs in reverse, which basically talks about this idea that um, you're not feeling a whole lot of energy. You're not feeling a lot of energy towards this idea of paying attention to your hunches or your gut instinct or your intuition or your psychic hits, whatever you want to call all of this. Okay. You're really not feeling the energy. Really. You're not paying attention to it. You don't want to pay attention to it. For some of you Taurians, the reason you're not paying attention to it is because it's kind of your intuition is kind of telling you something you don't really want to hear. So you're trying to pretend you're not hearing it. That might be one of those energies we want to change with free will. We don't want to be sweeping any red flags under the carpet just because we don't have physical evidence if we know we can trust our intuition. All right, let's look at Gemini. Ace of Swords showing up in reverse. Why is this not focusing on the card? That's better. Not perfect. Ace of Swords in reverse, though, Gemini. Yeah, you're getting a total new thought, which brings a new understanding for a lot of areas of your life, not just one or the other. This is an epiphany of a thought. You have some kind of new enlightenment, and it's coming in some kind of psychic way, like you're intuitively understanding this. Okay? You're intuitively understanding this part of things. All right, let's look at Cancer. Okay. Cancers, you have the Knight of Cups showing up in reverse. Somebody is giving you a bad feeling, somebody who has some kind of idea about something that they want to do with you or for you. You're picking up on the idea that eh, everything seems nice on the surface. There's something about their energy, though, that you can't quite put your finger on. Not so cool. You're pretty empathic, Cancer. I would say trust that. If somebody is making you an offer that seems too good to be true, or that you just kind of get the heebie-jeebies about this person, you just don't really, it just doesn't, something's not adding up. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't seem right. Pay attention to that intuition. Pay attention to those types of feelings. Otherwise, you can end up really regretting not paying attention to this. So I have a story to tell you about that actually. Um, way, way, way back in the late 90s, I used to be married to a guy who was a truck driver, and I used to ride with him in the truck all across the country, back and forth all the time. Now, this was before I knew that I had any kind of psychic abilities. This is when I still thought that to go see a psychic would send you straight to hell. So, you know, but I did know stuff, and I didn't know how I knew stuff. I didn't know that that was psychic. So I was psychic, but unaware of it. And we decided that we didn't want to drive a company truck anymore. We wanted to have our own truck and basically have our own business, driving our own truck and possibly later on buying more trucks and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, we found this truck that we liked that we were going to buy, and we were going to buy it from the company that we actually drove for. And this truck had only been driven by one driver before. It was a special truck that was um, given to somebody who had 1 million safe miles on the road. And so he had been the only one to drive it. He had been on the road a little bit longer, so he didn't have a really grueling schedule. Hadn't put as many miles on it as somebody else might have. And so, it looked like it was really a nice solid purchase for us to begin our trucking business. We loved that truck. We loved the color of it. Everything about it was just exactly right up our alley. We tried to get a hold of the guy who had been driving it and couldn't get a hold of him, couldn't get a hold of him, couldn't get a hold of him. He was on the road when we weren't, and vice versa. And that was back in the day that we didn't all have cell phones. We all had pagers at that point. So, on the morning that it's time for us to make this purchase, we have already gotten everything prepared. All the paperwork is set up with the company so that we're switching over from being company drivers to being owner operators. And we were to sign the paperwork. Uh, yeah, we were to sign the paperwork, and there was a guy coming in from the dealership where the truck had originally been purchased that was coming in. So basically, the truck was going back to the dealership, then to us on paper. And so this person came in, and when I saw that person, I just had this sense like, ooh, he just seems super creepy. I just didn't want to do business with him in any way, shape, or form. But we had already, been in the truck. We had already like loaded all of our stuff that we take with us when we're out in the truck. And we had all the paperwork done. And I mean, it was almost like it was just almost that we had gone too far to turn back. Almost. And I had the heebie jeebies about him. But because we were so far along in the process, I didn't say anything about that to my husband. I didn't stop everything. I didn't know how I was going to say it. Like, I, I suddenly do not want to buy this truck out of the blue, like 15 minutes before we're supposed to sign the paperwork because this guy looks creepy to me. How are you supposed to say that? And that was kind of the predicament I was in, so I didn't say anything. Long story short, we bought that truck. That truck had a major recurring maintenance issue that kept us in the shop once every couple of weeks. The odometer had been changed on the truck and that had not been disclosed. That is supposed to be disclosed legally. So it had twice as many miles on it as it looked like it had on it. Um, and so there was a lot that was not cool about that transaction. Some parts of the not cool were also illegal, and it was really a terrible situation for us to be trying to make money in that truck. But because I had not paid attention to my intuition, I got myself into that situation, me and my husband at the time. So that's why when I say Cancers that you've got this Knight of Cups coming up in reverse that is basically playing to our High Priestess, I think you're going to have somebody in your sphere of influence that you get the heebie-jeebies about, that everything probably looks good, probably on the surface, everything looks fine, but you have this inexplicable feeling of, but it's not. Pay attention to it, especially if it's a big deal, like, buying a semi truck. But pay attention to it. If it's a little deal that's only going to commit you to a couple of hours here or there somewhere, or 20 bucks or less, don't worry about it. You'll recover. If it's a big deal, though, definitely pay attention to that intuition. Okay? So that's for Cancers. Next up, I'm looking at Leo. Leo, 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 Leo. Here we go, Leo. Okay, you guys have the King of Cups showing up here. Ha. Leos, I think that you're following your intuition about whatever it is that you want to do today or whoever it is that you want to spend time with today. You're following your intuition, your gut instinct, whatever you want to call it. You're following that to create more happiness in your life. I'm not going to say create some happiness because this is the king. The king is building on the foundation that has already been set. So I think, Leos, that you are following your own intuition or gut instinct here to expand on the happiness that you have in your life. Happiness or satisfaction or fulfillment, anything in that ballpark on the emotional scale. Next up, we're looking at a Virgo. Virgo. Eight of Coins showing up here, Virgos. You're following your intuition whenever it comes to some kind of work, whether this is work for somewhere where you clock in or whatever, or whether this is, some kind of work that you just want to accomplish, or whether it's volunteer work, whether it's self work. Sometimes for me, this comes up as self work. There's some kind of work that you're following your intuition on so that you can get it done and get it done right, get it done well, and you can be proud of it. All right, next up, we're looking at Libra. What do you have, Libras? King of Clubs. Very similar to that King of Cups we just had for Leos. King of Clubs is telling me that you're following your intuition to build on something that has already made you feel inspired and enthusiastic. This is a project that has been going on for a while that makes you feel inspired or enthusiastic. It may very well be something that you're doing on your own without so much help from other people, like no business partners or whatever. But yeah, it's something that you feel really good about. And so you're just following excuse me, you're following your intuition to build on that. Excuse me for the interruption. We're back and we're going to look at Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. What do we have? Moon card. Interesting. Moon card can talk about secrets. Can talk about secrets. Can talk about the subconscious. We've got the High Priestess showing up here, Scorpios. We are generally highly empathic and fairly intuitive anyway. I think what we're picking up here is that there is a situation in our lives where things are not exactly as they seem. We may not be having a very easy time of picking up why the dots are not connecting, what's the missing piece. But we are picking up this idea at an intuitive level that not all the information is revealed yet. And I think that's letting us know that we want to hold off on making a decision until we get the rest of the story. All right, next up, let's look at um who's after Scorpio? Sagittarius. Sagittarius. What do we have? Seven of Clubs showing up in reverse for Sagittarius. Boop-a-da-doo. Yeah. Mm. Sagittarius, this is really coming up as like a trust issue that your intuition is telling you, you know what, I don't need to be quite so cautious around this person as I am around everybody else. And so I think intuitively you're being guided to open up a little bit more than what would be your normal right now at this particular phase in your life. Most of the Sagittarians I know are generally pretty open. There's something going on here, though, for you, at least at this point in your life, where you've been kind of holding back with somebody, maybe with everybody, but definitely with somebody. And we see you lowering that boundary and sharing a little bit more with that person right now. And you're doing this because your intuitive hit about this person says that it's safe to do so. Next up, we're looking at Capricorn. Capricorns. The sun. I love it. So, Capricorns, this is interesting because I really wanted to make this about your intuition, but that's actually not the hit I'm getting. That's where I want to go with this logically. I think what's going on, Capricorns, you are talking to somebody, whether you're setting an appointment or whether this is a friend, but you're talking to somebody who has pretty strong intuition and they are telling you the truth about something where you weren't able to see the truth so easily before. Okay. So some of you may be formally getting a reading, and if you are, choose me. And some of you, though, are just talking to friends who are strongly intuitive as well. Maybe you have other reader friends, or maybe you just have friends that just pick stuff up here and there sometimes when we have them picking stuff up. But you're getting the truth from somebody who has strong intuition going on, whichever way that happens. That's for Capricorn. Next up, we're looking at Aquarius. Aquarius, come on out and play today. Aquarius. What do we have for you guys? Hangman. Aquarius, I think that a lot of you are actually making some effort today to expand your intuition or to get better at harnessing your intuition. A lot of you are making that an actual point today. This is a conscious choice to do this. I like that. Very good. Next up, we're going to look at Pisces. Pisces, you're showing up here with the Page of Swords in reverse. Very similar to Aquarius. You guys' signs are right next door to each other. Here's this is almost exactly the same thing. Maybe not. So Pisces, Page of Swords in reverse, for me, that talks about digging for information, number one, but it talks about digging for information about some type of secret of the universe, is what I call it. So that can be anything metaphysical, law of attraction, intuition, telepathy, paranormal stuff. mediumship, BSP, all of that stuff for me falls under secrets of the universe. It's something that influences our universe that we're not taught about in fourth grade. Okay. So, at least not in this culture. So, you are digging in to understand more about some secret of the universe. Well, we know which secret of the universe when we see the high priestess. At least we know what area. So, high priestess is somebody who's going to be able to read and probably also manipulate energy. Okay. So, somebody who understands how energy works and can use that to understand what is coming in the future, to understand themselves better or people around them better, and who also knows how to manipulate energy. They've taken the time to figure that out. Okay. So I think what's going on here, you're digging in, you're finding out more about something in this section of Secrets of the Universe. You're finding out more about it. You could be finding out more about it for yourself. You probably have strong intuition being a water sign. You could be finding out about it, more about it for yourself, or you could actually be researching or getting information on somebody like me, somebody that does readings, or somebody that does energy healing, or somebody that um, manipulates energy in some way. So you could be digging in and finding out, like looking for a good person to get a reading from or a good person to get Reiki from. Reiki is nothing more than manipulating energy. So, ba-bum, bum. Or you could be looking at more of how you could bring those things into your own life at a deeper level. Either way would be applicable. So that's what I've got for everybody. What a powerful, cool day today. Woohoo! Yay, guys. All right. So thank you guys very much for being here. I do appreciate all of your kind support. Remember, you guys are my sponsors, so please remember to put a thumbs up on this video, share it out with the world if you feel comfortable doing that, and put your feedback down below. I always love to read you guys' comments. And of course, I am doing readings and Reiki sessions today. If you need one of those, all my information is at that website. All you have to do is get a hold of me. I do try to take care of you guys as quickly as I possibly can. I try not to have you guys wait. So if I can get to you within like 20 minutes, I can. Sometimes it isn't till the next day, but I try to get to you guys quickly, quickly, quickly. All right. Anyway, that's my spiel. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys back on the next video. Peace out.